give Jason a hand for thank you for
The question why? Why are we going to do this? Is this just a local project? Is it something that we want to do so that we don't let buildings get run down in this part of the city? Well, yes. Is it about making just Rock Hill a better place? Yes. But is it bigger than that? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. This is part of a cultural shift, a phenomenon that's going on across our entire nation and really the world, right? So if I had to take the history of the world and put it on one slide, which I did, and I would do it like this, because I only like 3 bullet points on a slide. So, I got 3 bullet points to tell you the history of the human experience. And so I would do it this way. You have the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, and what I'm calling the connectivity revolution, right? I believe that, and not joking and not exaggerating, I believe that we are at the beginning of a shift that is of the equivalent of these other two. Shift in human culture. And I would say that, the agricultural revolution was about we quit chasing our food and we stay somewhere and build civilization, right? Well, pragmatically speaking, when I say build civilization, what I mean is we built cities. Civilization started in Mesopotamia because it was the first city. A city is a place where we all come together and we have commerce, we interact, we experience other cultures. It allowed people to come from far away and come to the city and trade. It was about human interaction and culture. That's the beginning of civilization, right? Well, we changed all that with the Industrial Revolution because the Industrial Revolution was about building things and not building places. And unfortunately, we suffered from that because we built our economies based on building things. And the backbone of the Industrial Revolution was transportation logistics. I believe that that's the backbone of the entire Industrial Revolution. The reason why is because it doesn't matter the process that you create or the material that you're able to develop. If you can't distribute it effectively, it's worth nothing. Why would you build 1 million widgets in one village if you can't distribute them around the world effectively? And when we were able to do that because of the train, rail, interstates, shipping, airplanes, when we were able to do that, we changed our economy to be about building places that were nothing but production machines. That's why Rock Hill had one company that employed 25% of the population of the entire city, because we could create all of that one thing there and then ship it and move it around the entire nation. And what happened was all of our cities became places where we produced things, and the jobs were dirtier than they are now, and they were more dangerous than they are now, but those were the jobs that we had, and we built our economy based on it. And so the people with means and money were able to move out of the inner cities, and they were able to create what we call suburbia. And you have interstates and suburbia and big box retail and malls. But the problem with this is that it looks the same everywhere you go across the entire United States. And the city no longer is a mechanism for human culture. It's no longer civilization. If we build places that we don't care about, we will have a world that we don't care about. And that's the problem with the Industrial Revolution, is that it left us with these cities so that when textiles got up in the 80s and walked away and went to Mexico, we had an empty hole in our center of our city. That's a problem. And this happened all over the nation, because the city had become nothing more than moving the automobile around efficiently and creating lots and lots and lots of the particular widget that you happen to have your niche around, and then shipping them around the country. Those were the economies of our cities, and what we lost was the village. So the connectivity revolution is about bringing back the village. The village is integral into this whole process. So when you look at the connectivity age, there's a couple of characteristics that I would say kind of represent the connectivity age as a whole. And one is urbanization. Across the entire globe, humans are urbanizing rapidly, like never before in human history. Rapidly urbanizing. And in the United States, what does that look like? Well, it doesn't necessarily look like that New York and LA are just going to keep getting bigger. That's not the point. What it looks like is what we're doing in Rock Hill. We are reclaiming our urban districts. We are reclaiming them as the centers of our culture and social activity and of our economy, with cleaner jobs and less dangerous jobs, right? And these jobs are based on the knowledge economy. It's a services economy. It's a services economy. And if the backbone of the Industrial Revolution was logistics and transportation, The backbone of the connectivity revolution is the internet. Because you can provide services to anybody in the world from here because of the internet. I was in Birmingham, Alabama yesterday meeting with a client down there, and I was on the phone last Thursday with a prospect in Dallas. Well, in December, we'll do work for both of those companies, and we'll do it right here on Caldwell Street in that little office where we hang out at Revenflow. And we will deliver emails back and forth, and we'll text, and we'll deliver files, and that's the way that we will serve those companies. And we can do it for anybody in the nation or anybody in the world, and we can do it from here. But we wouldn't be in downtown Rock Hill just because it happened to be where we landed. We're down there because of the village. We're down there because we want to reclaim the village. It is this consciousness of reclaiming where we keep our civilization, culture, interactivity. It's the agricultural revolution version. It's coming into town and doing local one-to-one type of commerce. And hey, man, how's it going? And walking around downtown, that kind of feeling. Going to the pub after work, hanging out, like in the beginning of the 1900s, what cities looked like. It was about people interacting with people, not about moving the car around. We've lost all that. And that's what we want back. And that's the connectivity revolution, right? The reason Rock Hill was born is because the white family and the black family whose farms touched, they decided that Ebeneezerville didn't want the railroad tracks. And so they said, you can run the railroad tracks through our farm, but you have to put a depot. The depot is what created Rock Hill because it is connectivity to the rest of the world, right? The dream of fiber that Comporium has for the Knowledge Park and all this, what they're talking, some of the stuff, hopefully it's going to happen here, that is the depot. The internet is the rails, and the fiber is the depot. We can create that, a robust economy here in Rock Hill because we have access to the global economy, and we can be in the village and make it happen, right? So why do we want to turn this into this? Why are we revitalizing this district? The reason, because it's the future of our economy. And it's the future of the quality of our lives. Our economy will be a services-based economy that runs on the internet to some extent, technology and the internet. And the quality of our lives will be based on recapturing the village because that will herald forth our civilization and our culture. And it's important. So how? How do we do this? How do we revitalize our downtowns, our urban districts? Well, here's what we've been doing. Communities chase businesses because we're trying to get them here because they pay our taxes. They carry the vast burden of our taxes in South Carolina, the businesses do. So we try to get the businesses here. And businesses create jobs. But we do ourselves a disservice when our politicians say jobs, 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 because it sounds really fiscal conservative and responsible to say jobs, jobs, jobs. And it's really easy to listen to and raise your hand and say, I agree with that. But we do ourselves a disservice because life is not about jobs. Life is about quality experience. Yes, being employed is a big part of having a quality experience in life, but it's not everything. We don't want dirty, dangerous jobs. We want good jobs, clean jobs, jobs that don't harm our community, jobs that grow our community. So it's about quality of life, not jobs, jobs, jobs. And we chase businesses, but here's the thing. The knowledge economy businesses, they're chasing talent. But what does talent want? They just want a community. They just want the village. So we're doing it. We're chasing our tails. So what we need to do is this. We need to invest in our own community, and that's what this whole thing's about. That's what Knowledge Park's about. And I'm amazed at Rock Hill. I travel around and speak about this stuff, and Rock Hill is a leader in this for changing the perspective on how to approach this in the project that we're doing with Knowledge Park. We are a leader in this. Invest in our communities to make them a village that talent wants to be in. And then the critical piece is actually get the talent involved in doing the work of revitalization. Get them to participate. And that's where crowdsourcing comes in. So crowdsourcing is the ability to include everybody who wants to participate. It's easy to say that, so you say, okay, well, let's have a forum, let's have a conference, but everybody doesn't show up. It's hard. So you have to come up with models and mechanisms that allow people to participate at whatever level they want. This is the power law distribution. It's the math behind the 80-20 rule. And every time you have a random distribution of people doing anything, you're going to see this. And what it is that 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work. That always happens. But institutions Traditional institutions, by their very nature, can only be on the very far end of this, very far left side of the power law distribution. They can only employ a very few amount of people because of resources. They got to pay their salaries and insurance and everything. And then they're going to put those people to work, and they're going to do as much work as they can. But you have to just exclude every other bit of participation that could potentially be out there because there's no mechanism for it. Crowdsourcing is about finding ways where you can chime in. You may only add one, you may be way out here on the power law distribution. You may only add one bit of input, but it could be the critical piece of input. We don't know. You could make a connection that if I want to open a coffee shop, you might connect me to the one person that's going to make the whole thing happen. But if you have no way to participate, you have no way to add that. Crowdsourcing is about creating a model by which anybody can participate from their own agendas, however much they choose to participate. And this is how we map the human genome. It's how we have created the infrastructure of the internet. We're doing amazing things with crowdsourcing. So the question is, how can we make it so that when we redevelop our towns, instead of we just kind of come up with a master plan and then we put it out and we ask Winthrop students to respond if they decide to show up to some meeting or conference, how do we truly open it up to where everybody can participate in the redevelopment of their own town to whatever extent that they want to? And the people who really think that this is macro and big and awesome can work on it all the time. The people who just want to throw in an idea can just throw in an idea. And we've seen time and time again with examples of crowdsourcing that it never fails, that it's somebody way out here that solves some critical problem. They just step in, they see something, they throw in some input, and they leave and they help solve the problem. So that's what crowdsourcing is, and that's what we want to do. So we built this technology called A Day Remus. A Day Remus is a website where you can go and you can choose a building using Google mapping tools and all this stuff. You can choose any building, and you can describe what you would like to see happen in that building. And by doing so, you can then share it on Facebook, and you can tweet it and whatever, and then people can come and they can comment, and they can respond, and they can add things to it. They can add pictures. You can upload your business plans, your marketing plans, finance plans, whatever. Point is, you get to just describe what you would like to see happen. If you're an entrepreneur who really wants to open this business, and you create a prototype about your business, then great. Or if you're just somebody who decides to take the entire Main Street and turn it into a skate park just because you're being funny, then great. Because you know what we need in Old Town, Doug, is a skate park. Because kids don't have anywhere to go. Anybody under 16, everybody under drinking age has a tough time finding anything to do in downtown Rock Hill, in Old Town Rock Hill. You know? So we need that. So we need the input from everybody who wants to participate, and that's what A Day Remus is.